Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to HCast episode 16. We're on UK time and daylight savings has not happened. So that's why we are still on the UK time. This show goes out 9 p.m. UK time. I will not be changing it because obviously that messes up my entire schedule, unfortunately. And it's only for a period of 2 weeks, and then we'll go back to normal. Everything sort of coincides as normal after that. So just to get that right out of the way, because loads of people always be like, "Oh, what's going on?" Blah blah blah. That's what's going on. I'm not changing it. Soz.
Yeah.
So we got loads to cover today. Marvel has absolutely just admitted that they are up shit's creek. And they're using Reddit as a scapegoat. They are subpoenaing Reddit as well as Google, taking legal action to get the names of the Redditors who leaked Ant-Man and Ant-Man 3, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Pretty big news. Loads of other bits and pieces to cover today. But I will say just from the off, because I posted it in a memberships community post today. Memberships are a big thing on the channel. I haven't really been pushing them because I dropped off with them, but they're back. And on Thursdays, after the HCast stream, every single Thursday, we will be doing a members-only stream. So if you want to join in on that, it's a little bit low-key, a little bit more chilled. You want to support the channel. Memberships, big way to support the channel. You get a free super chat on a monthly basis. There's special emojis that have been created specifically for you guys. And there's sort of community posts as well, which will be memberships only. You can do that as well as Patreon. They're two very, very similar things, but all that's linked in the description box. And outside of that, whilst we're going along with these topics today, if you want to join in the conversation, I see Olaf is pretty good at this, but if you want to join in the conversation at the end of each topic, we'll be covering super chats. So if you want to get your word in, you want to even throw out something completely different, but just support the channel. Again, each topic, we'll cover the topic and then we'll cover the super chat. So we had some interesting ones about cheese last stream. So if you want to ask us literally anything, we will get to it. And it's a really good way to support the stream, the channel, and kind of what we're doing here. Check out the second channel. That's in the description box as well, where all the best bits of this show go. But that out of the way, because that was a long rambly bollocks. We got Latino Slant and we got Nick here. How are you all doing? How are you both doing?
Doing good, doing good.
Sounds like there's more of you. You're muted, Paulie, so that's great, bud.
I'm good. I'm great now that I'm not muted. There's a correction that needs to be made to our last Spanish word of the day. We got it wrong, so I'll bring it up when we're good.
What wrong? What are you on about?
You guys were fine, but I did not get what it meant.
You got a Spanish word wrong.
It's not Spanish.
Oh.
Gotta remember. It's it's broken English, but I even got what they were trying to say wrong. So it's
okay, interesting.
It's funny. It's all good and fun.
Well, I look forward to that.
I have that image.
Forward to that. Nice. So Paulie from the Latino Slant and Nick from Echo Base Network, their channels are linked in the description box. Please do check them out if you like what they've got to say here on the stream. You're not obligated to, of course, but if you like their deal here, then it's really good if you guys can go over and support them. So, first topic. Ant-Man 3, I said when it released, because they are front-loaded films. Marvel films are front-loaded.
Mm-hmm.
I said when it released, that's real bad. It's going to be a bomb. We're now a couple weeks into its release, 3-4 weeks. Major movies are being released. It's now looking like it will not go anywhere close to $500 million. With the budget that it's had, that puts it at a certified bomb. It will lose anywhere in the region of $50, $100 to $150 million. Pretty big bomb. And what they're doing now off the back end of that, Marvel, is using Reddit as a scapegoat. Are Marvel Leaks or Marvel Studios Leaks is a subreddit on Reddit, obviously, where they had the transcript for subtitles in a foreign language, basically, for the film. And people were posting, not verbatim, but they were posting elements of the script. And now Marvel is suggesting essentially that that's the reason that, hey, the movie's bombed. They've subpoenaed Reddit to get the identities and the IP addresses of the leakers. Pretty big precedent if this goes through. I don't think it will, because there are certain countries where, by law, they're not allowed to give out that information. It's private. You're not allowed to give out that information, I believe. So that's going to be difficult. So I don't. This is pretty big if this goes through. I don't think it will. But what do we think of that? And waiting in the wings here was Culture. Well, let's get to you first. What do you think of that? Pretty major turn of events. Subpoenaing Reddit and Google for IP addresses and names, identities.
They're seeking to abuse DMCA. And again, since we know a little bit about how this came about, because the transcript seemingly originally was in Portuguese, that'd be Brazil.
Yeah, exactly.
And I believe that they're not going to be able to find any sort of authority that will allow them to do anything along with that. I think Reddit's going to make it quite clear to Disney that in addition to that, doesn't even fall into that wheelhouse of DMCA, the Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So yeah. I strongly feel like they will tell them to pound sand at the end of the day.
So they already have. They've given a very small response, very straight and down the line, though. And their response was, Reddit is committed to protecting our users' privacy. We have rigorous processes in place to assess legal requests and object when appropriate. That's it. That's their one response, which to me is basically fuck off.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
Yeah. That's business language for eat a bag of dicks. So yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
But what a strange turn of events that they're basically like, Reddit's the reason why it bombed, because I mean that's basically what they're doing. This is a bit of smoke and mirrors to suggest that Reddit essentially led to that film bombing. Just admit that the film's crap. It's garbage. Just own it, right? Just own it. Don't run off to Reddit and be like, oh, they're the reasons now. Obviously, they're not saying it, but they are saying it by not saying it and doing what they're doing. Tragic.
Well,
Nick, no. Keep going, Coach.
I was just going to say anything to point a finger at somebody else for your failure. That's like it's normal. This is typical of all of the new employees, the new generation of employees at Disney, is to find fault with everybody else. If you can't attack the fans for the film failing, attack the person that released your transcript, because we couldn't possibly have just given the world a big pile of dog shit now, could we have?
Yeah, we couldn't have been reshooting it in January, We could have been reshooting stuff in January. I mean, that's definitely not a sign of a bad film, is it?
Indeed.
For goodness sake.
Indeed.
Oh, goodness, man. I know someone waiting in the wings here. Tom, probably you got something to say here. Drop in.
Oh, yeah, it's a good look with this. It's called freedom of speech, freedom of the press. This is dumber than the YouTuber who said that people should be prosecuted for spoilers. I'm like,
I remember that.
Are you insane? Like, that is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. Yeah, this is just a few weeks ago too. So this, I'm glad Reddit and Google said go to hell, because to me this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. What is next?
Well, it's just Reddit at this point that have said that. I'm not sure. We haven't heard any kind of response from Google specifically or anyone else, but what they have done, Reddit has done, is shut the subreddit down. Like you can't access it now, which I guess is like it makes sense to do it just briefly. Just shut it down, deal with all of this, then open it back up, hopefully. But yeah, I mean, they want IP addresses. I mean, there's massive privacy concerns doing this. It opens up and sets a massive precedent. I don't think this will go through simply just from that perspective, outside of freedom of the press, freedom of speech, etc. Literally just from that element, I don't think it will go through, just because it sets a very dangerous precedent for companies to abuse.
Well, my understanding, wasn't it translated from the script that was for subtitles anyway, or something like that? You were saying before.
Yeah. Yes, it was a subtitle.
So it's in another country. So unless they're going to sue them in that country or prosecute them in that country, they're going to try to extradite them to the U.S. because I can see them laughing about that too. They're like, "Are you serious over a freaking movie script? Give us a break."
Yeah, well, but this is the revealing element, isn't it, ladies and gents? Is that this obviously this has cost Marvel what they believe has now cost them, millions of dollars, because this movie is a certified bomb, absolute huge dump truck of bombs going off, awful.
Yeah, it
So this
wasn't
is
because
them
the movie
lashing
was
out.
bad at all. It was
Yeah.
just because of this.
Well,
And not
yeah,
only the
exactly.
movie being bad, but everything they've been doing here recently has been bad, which makes people not really show a whole lot of interest in going and seeing the next new piece of trash that you're putting out there.
Yeah, exactly. And so this is the interesting thing, isn't it? Right? I think looking at it from multifaceted elements. So the movie's bombed. They're now doing this. But wasn't it so funny is when the film came out, everyone was like, "Oh, it's just an Ant-Man film. Don't worry about it. It's just an Ant-Man film." Blah blah blah. Yeah, no, this is really good for an Ant-Man. They've opened to the strongest ever in the series, and now they're like, "Fuck, it's not even going to hit $500 million." Right? Subpoena. So go. I mean, what an admissions of absolute, of fault there.
I mean,
super,
it's
super
not like
funny.
this is Wolverine Origins all over again, where the whole movie gets dropped.
Well, didn't one of the Expendables films get leaked as well on torrent before it was
I think so.
released as well? I'm pretty certain it did. Goodness
But
me.
also these, like Tom was saying, these people are in another country. They're probably not using their real names. If they're smart, they're probably using a VPN when they're doing this stuff.
And singular use Google
Yeah, I mean,
Gmail accounts and stuff.
for them to track these people down in another country, I just don't see it happening.
They're going to send the Winter Soldier after him.
Yeah. How dare you leak this script?
Yeah.
Well,
How dare you leak our absolute garbage script? How dare you tell everyone, warn them that this film's shit?
Well, but we've had entire films released, as Nick was saying, and one of them was, and you have to go back a long, long ways, was the original Matrix. You could watch the original Matrix about 2 weeks before it actually made it into theaters.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that either.
Yeah. You could get it. It was out there in the world.
Like the same thing happened to Hulk and the Wolverine Origins movie. Like other movies have leaked early, and they've been able to go after people for those. That's a little bit of a different scenario here. We're talking about actual film, the movie itself leaking out.
I'm going to stop, Tom. I'm just really thinking about this. How the fuck can I get my money back?
Ask Disney. Like,
because I'm pissed.
Have you seen that South Park episode with Mel Gibson?
Seen this shit for free, Tom. Get out of here.
Refund.
Don't blame me.
I gotta blame somebody.
Well, that's what
you ever see
Marvel's
that
did.
South Park episode with Mel Gibson? I gotta imagine it's about as easy to get your money out of Disney as it is Mel Gibson.
Yes, that's a very funny.
I want my $2 or $5 or whatever it was.
Right.
Yeah. So, Paulie, what do you think about this?
That's
literally it. That's your.
I mean, no. It's like if Fiv is making any money, would this be an issue? Would this
No, exactly. This is what I mean. Like, what a like projection going on here. They're just revealing how frustrated they are with this film right now.
And it got buried so fast, this film. It's so forgettable. It's done. It's over because it sucked when it came out. And they did those reshoots. You guys know how I feel about the film. And you had all these better films that have come out since then. No one's talking about Ant-Man. This is a freaking joke, man. Cocaine Bear is still making money. Come on.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Cocaine Bear actually dropped on video on demand today.
There you go.
Well, the funny thing is, didn't so Puss in Boots released on video on demand at the same time, and that's absolutely steamrolled the box office, hasn't it? So it goes to show that people will go and watch a movie in the theaters, even when they can see it at home, because they want to see it in the theaters if it's good. They want that experience. They want to see it on the big screen. So it just goes to show just how, again, by comparison with respect to, Ant-Man and the Wasp, just how bad it is. I mean, people just don't care about it. Bad word of mouth, shitty film. No one's interested.
Yeah.
But Marvel's got to, attack Reddit, I guess, because they're to blame. Not them, Oh, no accountability to yourself.
But I mean, is that what they have sunk to?
Well, yeah, we said it now.
It's just like it's like
literally it.
It's now a new low where your headlines that you're making is your actors don't get along with each other. No one cares about anything that you're doing that's new, and then this
Legal action.
Yeah, then legal action. Yeah, what a mess.
It is an epic mess.
I'd put this whole thing along the same lines of like a kid saying, you called me a name, I'm going and telling,
Right.
Yeah.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah.
That they're even attempting.
It's actually almost worse than that. If you think about it, Nick, it's nefarious in a sense that if they actually were to succeed at this, like what if Reddit were to buckle, right? And give in to Disney because they were scared of them or some shit. And somebody who's going to get, 10 years in prison or a huge fine just for telling people that Ant-Man sucked.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. This is why I don't think it'll happen, because you just can't. Like, it sets such a bad precedent. Exactly. I don't think that they will.
Oh, people would revolt against Reddit.
Like that website would be done.
Yeah.
The moment that happens, the website's gone.
Honestly, I'm not even sure if legally they can do this, because isn't there certain like laws that protect us as consumers as well?
Yeah,
so we have the right to know certain things about anything we are going to be paying money for. So I think it would fall into that purview, but that's just me. I mean, there was times when Siskel and Ebert would do reviews. They'd flat out give away an entire movie if they didn't like it sometimes. Wouldn't give a crap. The studios would hate it, but they couldn't do nothing about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, you're completely right.
Yeah, whoever dropped this probably didn't sign any NDA or anything like that, or have any agreement with them. They probably just happened to get their hands on it, and they weren't in any kind of contract with Disney, so they're shared it to the world.
Yeah, well, so this has happened with me, with certain stuff. So I had the script for The Predator. And I made loads of videos on it, and everyone was like, you're talking shit. I'm like, I'm not. I promise you, this is the script. It's completely legit. And then I had Fox contacting me going, we'd really like you to take these videos down. I'm like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm going to lose money. Like, I don't have any agreements with you. Like, no. Like, why would I do that? And so they just blacklisted me instead.
Wow. Did they try... did they try drilling you on like how you got it or who you got?
No. I mean, they were very threatening with sort of legality issues.
Wow.
So I have a friend who is in he's a lawyer, but he's in like acquisitions and stuff. So I was like, well, he knows legalese. It's not the same, but he knows legalese. So I was like, what's the deal here? And he was like, you don't have what? No, like you don't have a legally binding contract with them. That's fine. Like, no, just literally
that also falls under freedom of the press, like I was saying before. So like, or even freedom of speech. Like, and again, I mean, it may be a little different since you're in another country, Nate, but at the same time, I would think considering it's something like this, that, Disney is an American company, right? So again, like unless they have a way of taking care of this person in whatever country they're from, I just don't see this coming to any conclusion where Disney gets anything out of this. Like, right? What are they going to do?
I think this is sort of peacocking almost,
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Nick. Because I'm like, because even let's just say for the sake of argument, they do actually find out who this individual was. The amount of money that they claim this individual has cost them compared to, what they'd actually get out of this. Like,
how can you work that out? Like, there is no way to quantify that.
Exactly. Like, first of all, you'd have to actually prove in some way that your movie was good enough that people would have wanted. That's why I know some court is they're just going to throw it out. It's like, even if it got to some point, they're just like, well, how do you quantify this? Exactly. Yeah. You have to prove losses, first of all. And in this case, I think you have a hard time doing that because the movie itself didn't leak. It's just a description.
Exactly. Just elements of it, just plot elements. Which those things leak all the time, right? Even for Marvel movies, they've been leaking all the time. But this is the one that they go after. Why? Because it's a bomb. That's
we knew the entire movie of the Rise of Skywalker before it ever came out.
I was going to bring that up too.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
we were already reacting quite negatively to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So I thought that would be a nice, fun one to sort of get started with. To break the ice with that. We've got actually a membership join, so that's great. Thank you so much. Again, membership stuff coming back, weekly members only live streams after the Thursday Hcast. Very chilled. Literally just me. So you want like a one-to-one with me. It's not an Hcast, it's me. It's a members only me stream. Just to sort of get that out there so there's no confusion.
Yeah, so you're going to do more bedtime stories with people too? Or are you?
No, so that's the Sunday in bed with H. I will do them as well, but yeah, they will be coming.
Because I know Polly looks forward to those, being in bed with H.
Oh dear.
Speaking of bedtime stories, I was at Walmart the other day and
wait, hold on. What'd you say, fool? You know I don't do that gay stuff. I'm not against gay stuff.
Whoa!
But I don't do that gay.
Don't be being homophobic up in here now. Come on now.
Why is that homophobic? I'm not.
I don't
First of all, I'm trying to run with a joke, but
yeah, I know. I'm taking it seriously. Yeah?
Don't take it seriously, Mr. H. Jesus.
Well, anyway, Tiger Valley 62 has become a member. Thank you so much. Really do
don't
appreciate
take that hat off. That hat looked great.
And then we've got.
What did Nick get at Walmart? Now I'm like stuck on the edge of my seat.
Oh, I forgot.
Remind me dropping in with a £5 super sticker. Thank you so much. Do appreciate it. Keeping the lights on. And we've got Elizabeth Lyons dropping in with a $4.99 super sticker. Thank you so much. Also, just want to say we've got some OG members of the channel. Members.
I haven't seen Elizabeth in a while.
Subscribers. We've got Smoke Monster. I haven't seen you for fucking like a year. Where you been? But you're back now, so good. Thank you,
Mr. H.
Elizabeth Lyons. Haven't seen you for ages. Where you been?
Where you been?
You're back now,
Mr. H. Can I just tell you that it takes a good, homophobic joke to get the chat going?
Oh, okay.
Not wrong.
I mean, people are laughing. You go tell them, Polly. Yeah.
There we go. And also, just someone did say, Mr. H, but why take someone else's work and tell the story before they have a chance to show it? Because that's what the press do. That's what
people want to know. If you don't want to know, you don't read it.
That's literally journalism. It's an element of journalism. It's an element of film dissecting. The Predator had a terrible script, and it was fascinating to watch what they did with the script for the reshoots. So why tell people? Curiosity. And that's literally what you do as a journalist. You have information that no one else has, and you reveal it. Just like I've done for Hellraiser. I've done it with many, many films. I leaked to the Candyman like 2 years before that film released. I leaked recently 65. I had elements of that. I've leaked Hellboy. I've leaked Alien Covenant. Loads of films I've leaked elements to. It's just what you do. This is part of journalism. Anyway,
yeah, I mean,
what's this, Nick? Some bedtime.
Oh, we still don't know. Just gonna agree with Mr. H. I've done that too with Blue Beetle. You get that, you get the leaky leak, you get the thing, and then you share the thing because you're the only one that's got the thing, and that's what you do. Yeah,
journalism.
I think all of us have a thing.
Yeah,
definitely. Now, come on, Nick.
So yeah, I was at Walmart, and they re-released all the Dr. Seuss books. Like they had a whole section with like Green Eggs and Ham, Cat in the Hat, all the.
Are these the corrected for a modern audience, weren't they?
I picked a couple up and went through them, and they looked all the same as far as I could remember from when I was a kid.
Nice.
Wow.
But I just thought about that when you guys were talking about bedtime stories, because my parents used to read those to me, and then I started reading them myself. Of course, when I could read.
Nice.
Very, very nice. So thank you so much for contributing with super stickers, memberships. If you want to join in, become a member, support the show, please do. You do get benefits, so please do that. Apparently, Reddit is actually down now the past 2 to 3 hours. Olaf Van Ness drops in. Also, a few other people have been saying that. So
it's actually it's an Amazon Web Services problem.
Oh, okay. So it's literally just that.
Smarty pants.
Sorry.
So smarty
All right.
pants.
No.
That's
fine,
no
that's
good
fine.
for the news.
I know. I'm sorry. I'll stop telling the truth.
Smarty
Yes,
pants.
Be more like MSNBC.
PMSNBC. You betcha. I got you covered.
Dear, oh dear. So on to, we've had one Marvel shit show, off to another Marvel shit show. But what it is now is the Marvels is apparently a big old joke. So
do people really want the Marvels?
Yeah, I know. So we're talking about a few things here.
Oh my God.
This is the start of
Marvels.
this story, and then we've got the latest part of the story. So basically, actually, this is a long story. The start of this predominantly was when it got moved from July to November, and everyone who has a brain cell said, "Oh, that's really concerning. That means the movie's really bad, because you wouldn't do that otherwise. Because why would you do that otherwise? Because there's no reason to move it from summer to November up against movies that it will do really bad against without a legitimate reason, i.e. the film's bad and that's all that they can do." And then people are coming out basically saying, "Oh no, it's just to fix some CGI." No, it's not. Behave. Like, that's just preying on stupidity and what people think Marvel has issues with. So they're going, "Oh yeah, there you go, no worries. We'll just make that as the excuse." And basically it came out from Jeff Snyder on a podcast, said that the rumor is that Brie Larson is an absolute nightmare to work with. She's causing huge problems, massive problems, in fact. So Jeff Snyder, via his YouTube podcast, says Brie Larson is causing problems. And basically, like, pretty big problems, actually. It should be her movie. And she's unhappy that it was going to be Captain Marvel 2, and now it's called The Marvels. So she's really pissed off about that. And then as well, apparently, she's causing lots of problems with her co-star, Teyonah Parris. So the full quote is, the first thing is, "What's behind that Marvels delay? I've heard that is just a shit show. I've heard it's a kind of chaos. I don't think this will really surprise anybody who's plugged into the industry. I've heard, again, don't get mad at me, I've heard Brie is a nightmare. I don't think I'm the first person to say that. I've heard she's really clashed with Teyonah Parris, and it has led to some strife, and that is sort of behind the delays. And also she's upset about it being called The Marvels, not Captain Marvel 2. Everybody else has like Thor, everything like that, and this is The Marvels." So that I can absolutely believe. Can you? I can. I mean, that makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Kevin Feige literally sold her as the next big thing. The next big thing. She was going to lead the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Do we all remember
She got
this,
a
ladies and gents?
huge payday too.
Yeah.
Because she was going to lead the Marvel Cinematic Universe. She was going to be the next Tony Stark, the next Iron Man, the front runner.
Yeah,
You must watch Captain Marvel, ladies and gents, because that's really important for Endgame. Comes out absolute weak sauce piss shit show. And now Captain Marvel 2 was delayed and just sort of up in the air. They weren't really announcing it. And then when it did get announced, it was the Marvels. I can believe she's pissed. Yeah. I can absolutely believe that. So what do we think? Thoughts? Suck it to me. And literally anyone.
Go ahead, Nick.
Fucking hell. Don't leave dead air like this, guys. Do I have to? I'll name you next time, Nick.
I'm not trying to talk over anybody, because every time I do, I get yelled at.
Tom, you go. Go, Tom. Go.
Oh,
Give
God.
Me a
Tom.
Yeah, come on, Tom.
No, I'm talking about in the chat, not so much on the stream. But
give me your thoughts.
Our chat.
Look, we already know she's an insufferable bitch.
So, like I was saying,
like, it's not. Oh, fuck you, Paulie. Like, let's be real.
Well, I'd like to say.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Tom.
Stop! Don't get me laughing again. I about died on the stream earlier.
I'll start singing as Arnold again.
I want to know your opinion, Tom. Come on.
No, like it's we already know she's an insufferable bitch. We already saw that she has kind of an attitude towards this whole thing when she was asked I can't remember if it was a red carpet thing or where it was at, but they're
Yeah,
like,
it was via Variety, but it's so just to
yeah,
interject just smallly there is I would say because when that dropped, I was like, I don't think that's an attitude per se with fans. I think that's an attitude with Marvel.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say in general, just like overall, like she's just clearly got some issues going on with this whole thing. And I mean, it's been how many years since we've had the first movie now? We've heard
like 2018, 2019.
Yeah, I think so. And we've heard there was going to be a Captain Marvel 2, and then all of a sudden, no, it's going to be the Marvels.
Yeah.
And we've been all of us had kind of been reporting that now for the last few years. And lo and behold, it is the Marvels. So I think that a lot of people are just kind of like looking at this, and she's just kind of like going, well, it's supposed to be my movie. You know, she's probably getting paid out the ass for this movie. Let's not forget that. She's probably getting paid 10 times. I'm not even joking. 10 times what everybody else in the movie is getting paid. Because she got paid $5 million up front for the first Captain Marvel. And the way these appearances work, it's usually double every time they come in. So like for Endgame, I think she ended up getting 10 million. So that means she's probably getting like 15 for this.
Well, I'd say in fairness, she should be getting paid more than everyone else because who are the other people? They're nobodies.
To a point, you're correct, and I'm not going to argue that. But you know, with this whole equality thing, it only goes so far, right?
Yeah. But yeah, I can absolutely believe this, and I can also believe that she's clashing with co-stars primarily because of the bad blood of it being shoehorned as an ensemble piece. But then also, you've got to force that chemistry straight away. Here you go, you're shooting for the next 12 weeks. There you go, bang, be best buddies. I mean, it works.
Well,
sometimes.
I'll be a little sexist at first. I'll be the first one to be a little sexist here, and I'll say it. You get a group of women together, sooner or later, one of them is not going to get along with the rest. And the rest are going to gang up on her. It's just the way it works with women.
Yeah,
I've seen it happen
true.
billion fucking times. So chances are Brie was the outcast because everybody didn't get along with her because she probably acted like a prima donna right off the bat. And it rubbed everybody the wrong way. I'm just speculating here, but I can see it. I can see a situation where she rubbed every other woman on the set the wrong way, and you've got a movie that's starring 3 women, and she thinks she should be the main star, and it's not her as the main star. So I'm sure she diva out all the time and have moments of, you know, freaking out at everybody. And Paulie kind of knows what I'm probably getting at, because sometimes actors they're insecure a lot of the time about a lot of things, and when you get a situation like this with somebody who's Brie Larson, who she one moment was at the top of the world, and the next minute she thinks everybody hates her, which is kind of true.
Yeah. Paulie, thoughts?
There's a lot of thoughts. I mean, I agreeing with Tom. There's 2 things here, right? When you see actors on a red carpet, they're on their best behavior and the best light. You know, they're looking good. They're doing this. They're doing that. You know, they're there to, you know, get some press. And
unless you're Hugh Grant, anyway.
Whether it's their that was just the best.
All right, we'll talk about that. But
we'll talk about that. But if you remember a couple of months ago, she was on a red carpet. I don't know where it wasn't for one of her movies, and someone asked her a question, right, about
Variety. And
that answer just said it all. It's like they caught her completely off guard, or she it sounded like off guard is that she let down any you know whatever we think Brie Larson is, and you got the real Brie Larson. I'll never forget that.
What did they ask her? What was the question?
So basically something pertaining to Captain Marvel 2, the Marvels.
Right. I think something like, are you excited, or do you think people are excited? How excited do you think people are to see you in Captain Marvel or the Marvels?
I remember that. And she's like, I don't know. Did they like the first one? See me? Yeah.
Right.
She's like, gets all a bunch of attitude and looks right into the camera.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was this. I'm thinking they probably just came back from a day of shooting, a day of, you know, or you know, where she just, you know, threw one of her temper tantrums. So that's what I'm thinking, is that she was probably just got the news, you know, or something just didn't go well for her on that day of the set. and then boom, you get that at the red carpet.
I got it here. If you want to show
Another
it.
thing I wanted to bring up is that I don't think anyone, on that production team of this movie would have thought that what's the Miss Marvel's name, the Pakistani actress, Amani.
I don't know. I can't.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
can't
remember her
remember.
last name.
Okay, forgive me, but
Yeah.
I don't think anyone thought she was going to be 10 times more charming, likable, and a real fan of comics than Brie Larson was. This girl, I mean, you can say what you want about the show, but I loved her to death in the show. And the camera loves her, like she reeks charm that Brie Larson never does. She just doesn't. She might be a cutie in some of the older movies.
Unless she's wearing a black dress.
Right.
On a late night talk show.
That's But what I'm saying is that I think that factor.
Hot damn.
Don't be surprised if Amani's going to get more screen time and Bree's getting less. Amani's going to get this line and Bree's not.
Just put Brie in a dress.
That's all I'm saying. I think that's a factor, and I think
that's all I'm saying.
That I hear you, Cochino, but that's all right. I know you have a thing for moldy cheese. Speaking of cheese,
bro, but if moldy cheese looked like that, I'll be scoffing that down all day, every fucking day.
Gross.
We'd chow down on that cheese.
So,
are you still talking? Are you talking about Brie Larson here?
He's talking about Brie Larson. So I think that's another factor. Culture. I think that factor is real. Is that you have a much more likable actor.
Oh yeah, she's a sweetheart
on the cast. That's more talented, right? And that knows her comic shit because she's always talking about. You hear it on her. Are you done yet, boy?
What?
Boy's red. No, not you. Look at him.
I know.
Right away.
Look, he's a cheese guy. Look, he was happy when I put this picture up.
Oh wow.
He was like, "Yay, team! Hello."
Oh, that's awesome.
Hello. But you're right though. Iman Vellani, I think that's her name. I think that's how you say her.
That's
name.
all I got.
You're welcome.
She's gorgeous. She's a cute little kid. She's very nice. You were 100% right. She knows her comics. So she's a fan of the comics. That's how she got the job. She wasn't an actress before. She's just a huge fan. She wrote an essay. And she got that part. She delivered. I'm sorry. I know nobody's seen it, and I've only watched one episode, but in that one episode, this inexperienced actress, this fan of these books, she did a great job. And I didn't finish it because it wasn't aimed at me. It was aimed at a younger audience. It really wasn't aimed at adults at all. But
I hate that show. It was garbage.
Well, again, it wasn't aimed at us, Nate. But she was good, and she does have charisma and charm and a lot of stuff like that. And
I didn't watch it, but Script Doctor said it was okay. And if he actually gives it an okay, to me that means something because he hates everything.
Yeah, and so I look at it and I go, all right, she's now competing with two other actresses on screen,
right,
that are better than her.
And one who's much younger, and then the other girl, the black girl,
Monica Rambeau. We just did her name.
Paris. We don't really know her that much, but no one's talking about Brie Larson.
Nope.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And don't forget, Culture. She's an Oscar-winning actress. She is the best actress in this movie.
Was that for the Indian film that she did, Basmati Blues?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Look at that culture humor.
Tom's got the clip here.
That her Oscar was for The Room, and that kid in the room acted circles around her.
Here we go.
Here's that interview question thing.
You play Captain Marvel for?
I don't know. Does anyone want me to do it again?
Fucking hell.
Wow.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have the answer to that.
Okay.
Fucking hell.
She's such a little bitch.
Wow.
Dude, no, but okay.
No, I don't think it's that. Honestly,
it's not that. It's not
it's
that.
not.
Ahead,
she's not. That's not what that is. Like, and I said it at the time, and everyone was like, "What a bitch!" Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, like no. That's someone that is resentful, not of the audience. That's someone that's resentful of the studio and the response and what they promised. That's a resentment directed primarily at an institution. It's an institution, an industry. It's not the audience. It's someone becoming very aware of everything.
Paulie has insight. Hang on.
No. It's someone who's been demoted.
That's true.
That's what I mean. Resentful of the studio. Resentful of the situation.
You can see demotion on her face, man. It probably happened. Hey, and I got to go to this fucking red carpet. All right, let's go, man.
Yeah.
Then this dillweed asked me a question.
Yeah,
I don't know. What are you asking me for?
Why are you asking me?
I will say that part of that dressing down may have had to do with her being told that you're not a popular character or a popular actress, and that's maybe where the response, does anybody really want to see me in the role, came from. But I think you guys are right. I think she has been basically like hit with a brick wall that this is not going to go down the way it was supposed to go down.
Yeah. Well, she was demoted instantly. That's the thing, right? Like, she would have known the movie would have come out, Endgame, and then Captain Marvel 2 is like just hanging in the balance. So we had all of that information about Captain the Marvels anyway, and now, of course, ladies and gents, we have the Defenders. Scoopers defend Brie Larson. Because apparently it's all sexist right wing.
It's all Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers' fault. I knew it.
Is this the same topic or is this a new topic?
Same topic.
Oh, okay.
Same topic. Other people now have apparently seen the film, ladies and gents. So what do the scoopers say about Brie Larson in the Marvels? Well, Casey Walsh, and this is important, who uses pronouns, because that is important because it shows an ideological bend. Uses loads of Twitter accounts, and his latest account described as an alt account where my main gets suspended for talking shit to right-wing lunatics. That's why it's important to say that they use pronouns. Again, I've heard nothing negative around this production. The movie has gotten more positive praise from tests than other MCU films this year. Sexist YouTubers use Larson as a way to garner favor with sexists and racists. The In Snyder is no different. And someone was like, "Oh, is it better than Guardians of the Galaxy?" No.
Racist against what?
Yeah, well, I don't know, mate. Just
the fuck.
Racist against white women?
Who knows?
Racist
Honestly,
against
who knows? Who knows?
There's a girl.
And then there's other people. The Watcher. That report about Brie Larson being difficult on the set of the Marvels is absolutely false. She was looking forward to the sequel being a team up. So there's the sort of contrasting elements, down the line.
Sure, she was.
But the thing about all of this is no one hones in on the fact that you have the very fact that they moved it from July to November. There has to be a reason for that, and it's a reason. It has to be a pretty big reason.
Delays or reshoots, I'm guessing.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. What are you sharing here? This is her character.
I'm saying, is this look like a healthy person to you? I mean, come on.
Golly.
Well, no. So from a health perspective, that's perfectly fine. Loads of people are calling her anorexic. She's not anorexic. You can tell she's not anorexic here. A lot of that will just be unusual makeup on the face, but I mean, there's no.
She looks stoned to the gills here, man.
Yeah,
it's
but
like a heroin addict here.
Yeah, I'll give you. Yeah, but the skinniness, because loads of people are like, "Oh, she's anorexic now." She's not anorexic at all. She's not anorexic at all. I will happily defend that. She's not. Honestly, she's not anorexic.
Come on, man.
Look at that and think anorexia is way off base. Way off base.
To be in a Duckworth, the camera adds 20 pounds.
I mean, it does. It does. Any camera, video.
It does not.
Whatever, Mr.
Wait, does anyway?
You were very biased.
I'm not very biased. No,
you're very biased on this issue.
I know bodies. All right, I'm well aware about bodies. I'm well aware about fitness.
All right, body master. I'm just saying.
Well, this is my area of expertise.
I have something for you, Nate. Here you go, Nate.
Oh, for goodness sake. What is that?
This is actually an interesting conversation because you have Nate who does do bodybuilding and all that business, and Paulie who is a trainer. So yeah.
Hey, can you like do that thing
I've-
again with your hand?
I have, yeah, okay. I used to teach people
What are
to
you
become
doing
trainers.
with your hand there?
That's
Anyway.
awesome. That's
Anyway,
amazing.
there you go. There's one Marvel shit show to another Marvel shit show.
So
Let's get to some.
I got something to add.
Yeah.
If I can have my moment in the spotlight to speak.
Ooh, all right.
Wait, hold on, everyone get in the spotlight.
Okay, sorry.
Shut up, fuckers.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
No, but I just wanted to bring up two things real quick. One, I can totally believe that this is at least believable. With her on set, feuds with other people and stuff, people not liking her. I mean, if you go back and watch the press junkets of Endgame, all the other actors seem to just despise her.
She doesn't want to be the next Tom Cruise, Nick.
Yeah, like it seemed like nobody wanted to be around her, like
Yeah.
giving her a hard time, and she was kind of being snappy back with them. And then the other thing is the first movie, and this is sort of the opposite of what I said earlier with Ant-Man. They're putting out all this trash, and then who's going to be running out to see the next Ant-Man when you've been giving us garbage? Well, when Captain Marvel came out, Marvel was giving us hit after hit after hit. So that movie brought in 1.1 billion, with a new character, Captain Marvel, that nobody even knew anything about. I don't know if I want to guarantee it, but I almost want to guarantee no way the second movie hits that $1 billion mark.
Oh no, I would say absolutely
in the current state of Marvel.
No, I'd say 100% it won't.
Yeah.
I would say it'll be lucky to do 800 million.
Yeah.
That's my genuine thoughts on it. But yeah, I think I think good additions, good input there, my dude. Now we do have Daryl Brewer gifted 5 memberships to the channel, which is crazy. So thank you so much. I didn't even know you could do that. What is this? You gift memberships? This is a thing?
Yeah, if you're a member, you can gift memberships to other people in the chat.
Yep.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Daryl, for 5 membership gifting things. That's amazing. Miss Zen became a member again, so thank you so much for rejoining. I guess, and also $1 super chat, but with nothing attached to it. I think we did also have. Let me scroll up. So we had this from Brett Cohen as well. Hey, you got to get the blue vein in there somehow. About that cheese thing, that got me absolutely creased up about that fucking cheese thing. That was gold. Oh god. It's just so funny. Anyway.
Say it real slow.
What?
Queso.
Hey? Say what, Sven?
Queso?
Cheese.
Queso? Oh yeah, I love
queso.
Cheese.
Paulie, quick question. Out there in California, is it yellow queso or white queso that you guys have?
Neither. We don't do queso like they do in Texas.
Oh, okay. Because like down here, like we have white queso, but if I go like up to like Colorado or up north or something, they don't have white queso up there.
Yeah, it's more like we got crema, queso fresco.
Yeah.
But that type of queso you're talking about, that's more of an American thing. Like nachos. Yeah.
We got another super chat here, $2 from Teague, which I think Tom's going to answer. It says, was RoboCop a ripoff or inspired by Dredd?
Both.
You heard
it actually started as a Judge Dredd project, and when they couldn't get the rights to Judge Dredd, they're just like, all right, well, we'll just take the basic concept and make our own thing out of it. And that's kind of what had happened. And if you look at the early, if you go back, and there's plenty of excellent documentaries out there, and if you look at the early designs for RoboCop, he looks exactly like Judge Dredd. So they clearly had to keep modifying it until it looks more like RoboCop. But yeah,
that new RoboCop game looks pretty sweet.
Yeah,
someone sent me the
heavily
trailer, I haven't
inspired
seen it.
by, and indeed, and in fact, started its life as a Judge Dredd project. Actually. So yeah,
very interesting. All right, Tom. I'm aware you need to. Do you need to go now?
In about 5 minutes or so, I should be good for that. Unless, what do you got for the next topic here? I can probably.
Well, I wanted to discuss the Hugh Grant in the Oscars situation.
I can have some fun with that a little bit.
Do you have the clip of that?
I have.
We got 400 viewers. Can we get those likes up? That'd be epic, ladies and gents. If you could, we'd love to smash that like button.
I actually even had the response of the
I think
the
you'd like
interviewee.
I think you'd like to smash
Or
Brie
interviewer.
Larson's getting to smashing them.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it'd kind of be hard for me to also.
Hey, there you go then. There, right there.
It's not the best video, but it's what's out there, I guess.
We got it everywhere.
Hugh Grant, you are a veteran of the Oscars, and you've been here a few times. What's your favorite thing about coming to the Oscars?
It's fascinating. The whole of humanity is here. It's Vanity Fair.
Oh, it's all about Vanity Fair. Yes, that's where we let loose and have a little bit of fun. What are you most excited to see tonight?
To see?
Yeah, well, I know that you probably watched a few of the movies. Are you excited to see anybody win? Do you have your hopes up for anyone?
No one in particular.
He was going to say not really.
Just my suit.
Your suit? Who made your suit? You didn't make it.
I can't remember my tailor.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to the tailor.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What does it feel like to be in Glass Onion? It was such an amazing film. I really loved it. I love a thriller. How fun is it to shoot something like that?
Well, I'm barely in it. I'm in it for about 3 seconds.
But still, you showed up and you had fun, right?
Almost.
Almost.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much. It was nice to talk to you.
Yeah.
All right, back to you guys.
Right.
Did you see his eyes? Like,
Yeah.
He was like,
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness me. Right. So that happened. And everyone was like, Hugh Grant, what an arsehole. Hugh Grant's, wow. I'm like, no, those questions were terrible.
yeah.
Those were
Not to mention,
questions.
let's first of all, he's
I was in it
there
for 3 seconds.
for one reason only. He's there, and I'll tell you why. He's there to promote Dungeons and Dragons. That's why he's there. So when he presents his award, they can say in the upcoming Dungeons and Dragons film,
Sure.
Hugh Grant. That's why he's there. Did she ask him one friggin' question about Dungeons and Dragons? No.
Yeah.
Because notice he gave her the first question. He was really nice about the first question. He was kind of fun. He even gave her a little joke with the Vanity Fair bit. But where did she go from there? Nowhere. Now, Paulie, I'd love to hear your response to this because this is actually something you have experience in, right?
Well, I mean, the argument is that, the people coming to her aid, like, Hugh Grant, he's so rude, and, no journalist should put up with that on the red carpet. Our work is hard. Chick didn't even know what he was referencing in regards to Vanity Fair, what the true meaning of it, because he's just taking the piss out of the situation. It's like, look, we're all dressed up here. And and she doesn't ask about Dungeons and Dragons. I mean, also
she asked about Glass Onion, a movie that he wasn't even barely in, so you could clearly tell he was upset because he probably was cut out of the film. Sorry, Paulie.
Well, I mean, it's Hugh Grant. I mean, you should listen. If you're on that high caliber red carpet, you do have producers, and you're gonna have a list. You're gonna have a sheet of who to expect, who are your top people. Then, we might get this person, might get that person. You have time to do your research to get your work done. I did a lot of this in the bilingual market. When you come across as being, somewhat knowledgeable what the fuck you're talking about, here's what happens. The talent actually opens up to you because they like that. You know what I'm saying? When you can make a reference about something, they're like, oh yeah,
Well, it's not necessarily even just referencing. So when I've interviewed
mhm,
directors and actors, even if you just appear just a little bit more competent than the average
yeah,
interviewer,
mhm,
people are like, "Oh, well, good. This is not boring as shit. Cool. I'm gonna have a good
yeah,
time now." And then they're
absolutely.
just nice, normal people. I remember
But
I interviewed
but
the
the difference is
Hereditary.
that your interview, there's
Mm.
it's the thing on the red carpet is so chaotic. So
Yeah, yeah, of course.
sometimes you only have one chance, one shot.
Mm.
I mean, I've been fortunate to interview people from Tom Cruise to whatever. And Tom Cruise, he would stay until every person's on that press list, everyone on that press line, every
Mm.
question was answered. That guy's a consummate professional. That was years ago. That was for the movie Collateral with Michael Mann. That was awesome. You know, she's a bozo. And that's just it. And then he's just like, what the fuck am I even doing here?
Yeah.
um, yeah, that was my take. I mean, he,
Yeah, I mean, half of it might not even be her fault. He doesn't probably even really want to be there. He's probably obligated, like I said, by the
Well, no,
studio
he
to
was
promote the
he was
movie.
presenting one
He
of
was
the
presenting, but like
presented
that's my
windows.
point.
oh,
Is
if he's
look at how this
presenting,
is set
Tom,
up.
if he's presenting, he would be on her list.
Exactly. But my point is like you guys got to remember, all the Oscars are, besides being a big circle jerk, are the studio's opportunity to advertise all their shit that's coming up for the next year.
Mm.
So most of the presenters, if they're not somebody who's coming back because they won last year, they're there to promote a film, right? Like that's the whole thing. That's why Harrison Ford gave away the best picture, so they could say in the upcoming Indiana Jones film, it's Harrison Ford.
Well, it's Harrison
Yeah.
Ford too. The thing is, it's going to say on that cheat sheet that she might have, or her producer in her ear might have, because she's got someone in her ear too, or she's got someone on the side. That's like a really well-oiled little machine as far as a field producer. Blah 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 blah. Oh, coming up next, Hugh Grant. He's got Dungeons and Dragons. He's making a comeback. He was in Glass Onion, so she might have just computed as like, oh yes, I saw Glass Onion, and she just
But again,
she's trying to make what really threw her off was that he wasn't giving her anything, right?
Yeah.
He gave the first answer,
Yeah,
but
he
after
did.
that, it's like this person's an idiot. And then when
Yeah.
he made the reference of like, look, all of humanity is here. It's a Vanity Fair, and she was like, yes, queen, with the Vanity Fair, we're gonna party. I'm like, oh my god.
It's like I said,
That
I
was
mean,
awesome.
and you know how that is. I mean, her IFB could have not been working, Polly, so she didn't have a producer in her like she would normally have, or those types of things. But she should at least have been familiar with the material and with what all these people were that she were going to be walking by her. You are prepped to the nines when you are going to be standing there doing that.
Yeah, so it's Hugh Grant. You don't have to be that prepped.
No, but
Pretty famous.
but all you do is do leading questions. I mean, the whole point of those interviews is exactly what Polly was saying, exactly what Tom was saying.
Yeah.
Is tell us what you're wearing because you want to promote the person that gave you $1 million to wear their dress or their suit or whatever it is.
You usually don't ask the guys that question either.
Sure.
That's the other
Well,
thing.
I mean, unless it's fucking what the dress wearing guy that was there last year.
Yeah,
But
that's a
anyway.
little different. But yeah.
But but that's not the point. It's just you're there for a specific reason. There's a normal like cadre of questions. It's a circle of information that you're gathering and passing along. Most of the stuff that should be wildly predictable, including what you're going to ask everybody on that carpet. She reeks of inexperience, right? And
Well, it's Hugh Grant, just like what Nate said. It's like you don't really need that much prep. It's Hugh Grant, like
he's great.
And just break the ice. Hugh, I love the way you dance to the Pointer Sisters in Love Actually. You're the man. He's gonna love that. And then tell us about your latest film. Boom. That's it.
That's
I'm
exactly it. Polly hit the nose because that's where she freaked up, because her whole thing was she was sitting there going, you're here to present an award. Great place to start. Her next thing after that should have been, you've got a movie coming up this summer. How excited are you for that?
Yeah.
There's your lead-in question, not, oh, you were in Glass Onion. I loved it. He's like, terrible. Yeah, I was in it for 3 fucking seconds. What is your point?
The questions, yeah.
Sorry, yeah, and that you could tell at that point, like I said, and I was speculating, but he's probably like, yeah, I spent 2 weeks on the set, and they cut everything out that I was in the movie. You're asking me about a movie that ticked me off.
She's actually lucky he didn't respond that way. And you know what? If you wanna reference a movie that wasn't well viewed, that should have been, go back to his opportunity with Drew Barrymore in Music and Lyrics. At least that's a rom-com that a lot of ladies would have seen. And that's a movie I know he genuinely enjoyed making, because he said so on multiple occasions.
Dude, Notting Hill. I mean,
no, but I'm just saying, if you're trying to,
or you can even bounce off of something like that. Be like, you usually make movies like Notting Hill and Love Actually. How does it feel to now jump into something like Dungeons and Dragons?
Now,
right. I'm not saying she necessarily even had to ask him that, but I'm just saying, like, there's 100 other things she could have asked.
We know it's Hugh Grant. So let's say she has no idea who Hugh Grant is, right? I don't even know who this person is, from someone in the chat saying she's a model.
Yeah.
She might not know a Hugh Grant film. Okay, that's where you lean on your producer or your assistant. It's like, give me something. Literally, you can say, I don't know who Hugh Grant is. Give me something. Yeah. They'll tell you, right. This is the Academy Awards, guys.
Well, and that's where she probably jumped right to Glass Onion, because that's the only thing she had in her.
Well, but then you saw what you're dealing with the Vanity Fair response, and then who's your tell us about your suit. That was just bad.
Yeah, it was my tailor. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I said. You usually don't ask the guys too often until unless they're clearly wearing something out of the norm, right?
Well, and again,
9 times out of 10, these guys wear the same suit to all these events.
Well, and you're gonna have. I mean, Paulie's right. In your IFB, you're gonna have somebody talking to you. You can have, if you aren't prepped on something, you can get that information. If her IFB wasn't working, though, it's a different conversation.
Even if you don't have one. Even if you don't have one. You got a camera there, so that means you're going to have a field producer on the other side of that camera. You're going to have an assistant right there next to the field producer. You're going to have someone, hey. I mean, it's that red carpet is like the highest of the highs in regards to journalists.
And it wasn't just Hugh, though. Did you guys see the question that was asked by, I believe it's that same Variety guy who asked Brie the question that he asked The Rock?
No,
the red carpet.
Yeah,
that was a totally low blow question for the Oscars.
What he said? What's that?
Talking about Black Adam, DC, and
Superman. He asked him about the failure of Black Adam and Henry Cavill and all that business, and you could see the veins popping in the Rock's, and he's just like trying to keep it. I'll see if I can find that real quick.
You mean the older gay dude that works for Variety?
Yep.
Yeah, I got my problems with him.
Yeah, it was the dumbest tone deaf question at that time. We're like, are you serious?
Older gay dude.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about it when he's interviewing people. It's like, dude, no one gives a fuck. Ask some great questions.
Well, just to wrap up that specific topic about
don't get me started.
Hugh Grant specifically.
Yeah.
He did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong at all. He was dealing with an absolute idiot.
Could he have been a little nicer? Yeah, but did he have?
Does he have to? No. Exactly. No. Was he rude? No. Literally, you give as good as you get. That, like, he tried, he was done, and I think that's perfectly reasonable. And also, remember, he's there to do a job, so he was probably like, "Oh God, let me just go backstage. Let me just move on. This is ridiculous." So yeah, but yeah. So Tom, now you've got the video of this Variety guy.
Yeah, real quick before I have to run.
Dwayne Johnson.
I was gonna say, is this the guy you're talking about, Paulie? Because just to be sure. Okay,
I can't stand that guy.
So yeah, just watch The Rock here. This is hilarious, and you got talk about a difference in how he handled it compared to what Hugh did. I wish The Rock would have treated him like Hugh did.
Henry Cavill, you brought him back, but now they're saying he's not playing Superman. What do you say?
Blinken.
All that I could do and that we could do when we're making Black Adam was to put our best foot forward, surround ourselves with the best people, and then also deliver the best movie we could. Our audience score was in the 90s. Critics, took a couple of shots. That's just the business of it.
He wanted to take a shot at them.
Yes, he did.
But I think it's almost like when you have a pro football team and your quarterback wins championships, the head coach wins championships, and you have a new owner, and the new owner comes in, says, not my coach, not my quarterback, I'm going to go with somebody new.
Henry Cavill, you brought him back.
He's such a pro.
Look at the blinking. Play it again. Look at the blinking that he does.
Dude, that plus look at the veins in his head from after
That's what
that.
I said. It starts popping out.
You brought him back, but now they're saying he's not playing Superman. What do you say?
Look, there's more veins pop out. He's really pissed. I'm like, oh, shit.
It's the blinking that does it. That's when someone blinks as much as that, it's so telling. It really reveals a lot. It reveals so much.
And he's like looking up. He's like looking up to the left. Like, is he really asking me this question right now?
God.
Well, and that's what I mean. This is a totally wrong time to ask this question, right, Paulie? I mean, I would think.
This is a gotcha question, and this is a sucker.
This is a headliner. This is why he's done it.
He's trying to because he knows he works for Variety. He follows everything. This guy, that was this. I mean, it's Oscar night. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? You're gonna go after someone in there because it was a flop. It was a failure. But you're gonna go after them on the Oscars.
Yeah,
God, have some class, bro. See, this is the thing. Yeah. It's like you give these bozos with the camera there, with the mic, too much power. What a clown, man. Good for The Rock. Good for he could have just
he handled it with he handled it very well. I'd say. I thought the same thing Paulie did. Like he's like, they took some shots at us, and he's like going for the body there. He's like, I really want to kick your ass.
I really just love to fucking knock you out, bro, for asking me that.
But this is the problem with this specific reporter. He's always doing stuff like this. He's just.
He was interviewing the RRR guys, the lead actors of RRR, and he was just salivating over these guys. I'm like, dude, this is really uncomfortable.
He's not professional.
No, man.
Gross.
No, it's like, oh, dude.
Has he got a painted fingernail as well?
Yes.
What? Why?
And it says, I love him for whatever on his wrist there. Yes. So now here's the actual time you should have asked a guy what he's wearing, because obviously The Rock is wearing a designer suit there.
It looks great.
Yeah, that's one of the few times where you go, okay, so who are you wearing? That's one of the times you ask a guy. Yeah.
What's next for The Rock? What's next? See, if I had him right there, I would say, Dwayne, what's next for Dwayne Johnson? What can we be excited about? Happy. This is a happy stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like meaning like you're at the Oscars. He's not giving a press conference. This isn't. It's just like, what can tell your fans what can we be excited for? Because he's got a lot of fans.
Oh dear. Yeah, the Oscars, what an absolute shit show. What a shit show. And with that, Tom, I'm aware you need to bugger off now, don't you, I think?
Yeah, unfortunately, I got to get to the pharmacy before my show. But it's always fun getting to hang out with you guys. Thank you for having me. And whatever these guys are talking about, stick around because I'm sure they've got more fun stuff to discuss. So.
Oh, yes.
Hopefully I see some of you on Mead later on. Take care.
See you, Tom.
See you, buddy.
Love you, Tom.
I wouldn't
love you, Tom.
There it is. So we've got nearly 400 people here. Please do hit that thumbs up button. If you like what we're doing here, you like the show, super chat at the end of each section or segment you would have seen us. We're sort of covering the super chats. So it's a good way to support, but also get your voice heard in the conversation. You don't have to ask about the segment specifically. You can ask about anything you want, and we'll spend some time on it. The non-topical discussions, whatever you want us to talk about, drop it in with a super chat. And also hit subscribe on the second channel, linked in the description box as well. It's the live archives channel. So, what is this?
I thought maybe be a good time,
Calma. What is this?
Okay, so, all right. So I would like you guys to read the top line and the bottom line, and I will give you the correct English that they're trying that they're trying to say. How about Nick? Why don't you go first?
All right. Calmette Carnel.
A recurring segment here on this show, ladies and gents.
And the bottom?
Take queers.
Whoa. Okay.
I don't know how to say it.
All right. How about you, Culture?
I took a turn.
Wow.
I'd follow up that culture, right?
Calmate, carnal. Te carisi.
Oh, you almost got it. Okay, and Nate?
I'm not doing this one.
Oh, come on.
You
This
can't
is your
follow
show.
up that. Calmate, carnal, te carisi.
That's what I said.
Okay.
All right.
So here's the thing, right? It's calm down, brother. And the bottom, which, calmate carnales, that's Spanish, right?
Mhm.
But the true English, say now, say the bottom line as if you're saying, take it easy.
Take carisi.
That's funny. I like
Take
that.
it easy.
Hey, take it easy.
Take it easy.
That's good.
Oh man, you're gonna get me murdered. What the heck, Bolly?
I like that one. That's
Nick,
funny.
say that. Take it easy.
Take it easy.
Take
Take it easy.
Yeah, not queers.
Take it easy. Nick got it right at point, baby. Point.
Dear, dear. Mexican Iron Man dropping in. Super chat here.
Hey, Mr. H's Spanish is better than mine. Okay, passa, friend. What are you talking about?
Look at that. I just made you a super chat this segment.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.
But because I had said it was something else, and then someone corrected me. I'm like, oh, it is. Take it easy. Oh my god, that shit is hilarious.
Very, very funny.
We're
Right.
smart.
So, next topic, ladies and gents, is it's a pretty Disney heavy one actually, but it's basically the Mandalorian season 3 is basically a bomb, like
really
a substantial bomb. Yeah, quite surprisingly. I was surprised to see this. This is Disney's Lucasfilm's big hitter, but it's going down. It's going downhill. Now, this is just one sort of metric to go by, but it's a comparison, right? So they compare it like for like. So Samba TV, 1.6 million US households watched the season 3 premiere of The Mandalorian on Disney Plus.
That's not good.
That's really small.
That is really not good.
That's really, 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 really small.
So,
and that Samba TV has got access to over 25 million connected TVs.
Yeah, and Roku has a little over twice as many.
Yeah, but not only that, it got beat out by the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. Wow. Dang. That's bad.
And it's lost. I think it's lost like a million viewers or something like that. So the data reveals that the Book of Boba Fett season premiere beat out the Mandalorian season 3 premiere by 2.2%. So according to data previously released by Samba TV, as the Book of Boba Fett was watched by 1.7 million households, the Mandalorian season 3 came just shy of that number. Update: Samba TV released it as 1.6 million households, a million less than the Book of Boba Fett, around a 6% difference.
Wow. Well, okay, so let's extrapolate. So if you have 64 million households with Roku, so you can extrapolate those numbers. If 1.6 million, you could kind of just do the math and multiply that by 2 and add it to the 1.6 million. This is not doing great in its premiere.
No. Well, the Mandalorian season 3 premiere fell short of Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I mean, 5. So you only had 5 million people watching this thing?
Well, I think what they're saying is it's 5 million people from the people that they're pulling data from. This isn't I don't think this is across the board.
No,
this is like for like comparison across the previous reports of other things, though. So it's a reliable metric when you're working within the comparison like for like. Within that as a metric, like it is, like it's reliable on that sense, basically.
But if I'm building a model for it, right, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, okay, so this is what I would expect out of extrapolating over to Roku, right? And since the Samba television connected TVs and the Roku set-top boxes and televisions, and pretty soon other appliances as well, when you look at all those things, you can do a comparison and say, they are the majority of devices that people watch in North America, because that's primarily where we're focused with Disney Plus. And you look at those numbers and you go, this is bad. This is not anywhere close to the kind of penetration you need on a massive streaming service like that, and it's going the wrong direction. But Disney's been going the wrong direction on with Star Wars, and overall for quite some time. So
For the last 2 years, pretty much.
Yeah, and their numbers have been dwindling across the board. And it's not just Star Wars, but in specifically Star Wars has been kind of failing because lots of stuff has not been positively received, and Nick would definitely know that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So Nick, thoughts, buddy?
I'm actually not that surprised by this news. I think this just goes right back to what we were talking about earlier. If you're putting out constant garbage that people are just disappointed in, it's just going to make them that less likely to continue watching the next thing that comes out, or at least wait and hear what people are saying about it before they invest their time in it. I know a lot of people, just our own sub base that I see comments saying, I'm not watching. I'm going to wait till it's out and find out if it's worth watching at all. Or a lot of people have just checked out completely. So yeah, I'm honestly not that surprised by this. I think the first 2 episodes have been very average with some really cringe parts in it, but from a fan perspective, not a critic perspective, I like the show okay so far. The first 2 episodes. There's not anything overwhelmingly offensive to me in it. I've always got my nitpicks when it comes to these episodes, things that I find cringy or dumb or bad writing, or I think it's bad storytelling, the way they're doing it or whatnot. But as a Star Wars fan, I'm not hating it yet. But yeah, I completely find what they're saying here to be believable.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, from my perspective on this, I am surprised because this seemingly was the last thing. This was Lucasfilm's last ace in the hole. It was the last
way
thing
season
that they
2
had.
ended. Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but maybe Book of Boba Fett pissed people off. They weren't interested. Maybe
it pissed a lot of people off.
Well, what I mean, but what I mean specifically when it comes to the Mandalorian is because Mandalorian was in it, and then Grogu comes back in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Maybe people saw that as a bit of a U-turn on a narrative, which felt like it was closed. So
Absolutely.
I'm just guessing, I'm speculating as to why the viewership is so low. Maybe it's to do with that. Either way, the short of it is that Lucasfilm was in dire straits. Like, that's bad viewership, and it makes sense as to why Disney is looking to now sell off IPs or streaming elements to other companies now, because they're like, we fucking can't keep making money like this. We're not making money like this. We need to make money. So it makes a lot of sense. Their viewership numbers are not good, but this was seemingly the last thing which they had as an ace in the hole.
Yeah.
So yeah, shocking. In that regard, I think it's shocking.
Yeah, I know Coach dropped a video right when the stream was starting talking about this, where he was kind of giving some pushback on this article. I haven't seen the video. I don't know what he said. He did some digging today, I guess. So I'm gonna go see what he found out and watch the video later. But if anyone wants another perspective, I know Coach dropped a video on this topic on our channel just right when the stream started.
Yeah, I mean, look, so you could definitely push back on this from a perspective of, well, it's not 100% viewing figures. We don't know the 100. Of course, we actually don't know the actual viewing figures. We don't.
Yeah, and they don't release that information.
Exactly. And even if they do, it's not independently verified.
Yeah.
However, these specific metrics by these specific companies, you can rely on, and they're a good comparison when you compare them against their own metrics from previous seasons.
Yeah.
Because that is a worthwhile metric to compare. It's not the whole picture. So, maybe he's pushing back on that perspective, I guess. And that's a completely valid point to have. It's not the entire perspective, but it's still a pretty large metric to go by.
I mean, even taking this metric, if you just take just this metric on its own, it should be well above the numbers of these other shows, especially the way season 2 ended, and it was such a big thing. Grogu is off, obviously a moneymaker for them, merchandise wise.
Huge.
So yeah, the numbers that they're gathering,
Loki beat it by 30.
should be higher for sure.
Yeah, Loki beat it by 35%.
Yeah,
Loki beat the Mandalorian by 35%. Obi-Wan Kenobi beat it by 28%.
Yeah.
These are metrics like for like within the same company, the same measurements that they're using, just across different shows. Those are bad.
Yeah.
Paulie, I see you nodding away there. You got someone to chime in, bud?
No, I'm I'm kind of with you. I'm a little I'm a little surprised. Yeah. It makes sense. Because people are done. People are really, really done, especially after the last couple of TV shows. I'm enjoying it, but I get it.
Same. I like it.
I'm like surprised and not surprised, but I was like, damn, that's bad.
And at the urging of Mr. H and Paulie and a few others, I actually have been diving in and caught up with y'all on the show. And my thoughts on it are this. It's interesting. It's not fully engaging. I have my quibbles about what's actually happening, and of course, you can point back to the space alligator or whatever that was in the water. But in the most recent episode that I saw, it does introduce a monster that you guys talked about on Thursday that I'm quite interested in. And I kind of get it, and I think that there would have been a lot there had we gotten the Rangers, right? The show that was going to feature Cara Dune and a few others, Timothy Oliphant and all that. I think that there was an entirely other story that had to be written around, and I think that's also why we got 3 episodes of Mandalorian in Boba Fett, is because trying to rework the story required some of those.
Yeah, it was a huge mess. Mess.
Yeah.
But I will say this: if I see Peli Motto talking Jawa anymore in this season, I'm chunking my remote at the TV.
I've seen your tweets about Peli.
Oh God, man, she's the worst, the absolute worst. I hate that character. Ugh. Anyways, I'm not going to go on a tangent about it, but yeah, not a fan.
It's very funny. So yeah, well, anyway, I thought that was interesting. We do have a very, very, very good membership milestone. So Felicity Poubelle has been a member for 21 months. That's support level 2. Just thank you so much. Honestly, amazing. Thank you. Thank you for sticking with the memberships, guys. Memberships, all the benefits are coming back. So just take a moment now just to talk about memberships. So memberships on the channel, you do get benefits, right? In stream, you get a free super chat on a monthly basis. Every time you're a member, it goes over, and then there's a sort of a highlighted comment, basically. You get access to members-only emojis. These have been created specifically for you guys, for me, for the channel. They're Jasper themed, dressing gown themed, little thing there. And also on Thursdays after the Hcast, there is a chilled stream where it's members only and patron only. It'll be me, maybe someone else, but it'll be me, you guys hanging out, shooting the breeze. So there are benefits. So become a member if you want to support the channel and support the show and have access to benefits. However, just to say what the Felicity's free sort of super chat thing was, says there's absolutely no argument that KK should stay. Whether you believe she knows nothing, or that she is involved in everything, she's a poor manager and has not earned her salary. She must go. And yeah, I mean, you are actually completely right. There's one prime example of that straight away, and that is the fact that now Lucasfilm was being sued by the Acolyte producer. Yep. I mean, that alone speaks volumes. That alone is the worst headline for Kathleen Kennedy's job security right there. Just that.
Yeah.
Outside of anything else, just that. Piss poor manager, just that. Lucasfilm is being sued because of Kathleen Kennedy. Ultimately, she bears the brunt of everything. You know, she's the head honcho. I mean, Nick, thoughts?
She's terrible. And she should have been gone a long time ago. But I'm in the camp of I don't really see there being much change or difference once she's gone. I think the problems are a lot bigger than just her with Star Wars. I think a lot of this falls on Disney as well and Bob Iger. So just because she's gone, I don't think or feel that Star Wars is magically going to be saved, all of a sudden just because she's out of there. But yeah, she should have been gone a long time ago. She's not somebody who's good at being the head of a studio. She's good at getting people's coffee and, running around doing errands for other people, not running a studio.
Yeah, I concur, Nick. She should have been gone prior to Iger leaving the first time. She bore a lot of poisonous fruit, including the waste of massive amounts of capital in a physical form that is difficult to change. Which would be, of course, I'm referring to the 2 theme park developments that were done to the tune of $1 billion. The Galaxy's Edge craptasticness with Black Rock Spire, which would have been 3 different areas from the original film. Originally, it would have completely changed the landscape of the theme park.
I'm so pissed about that.
You could have gone on to Star Tours and actually exited into Tatooine. From Tatooine, you would have exited into Hoth. There was a lot of great things that were out there for that theme park before she dipped her toe into the conversation with Uncle Bob. And there's $2 billion wasted.
And the set designer for that park was furious.
Yeah. Mind you, he came from a long line of family members that worked for Disney. Specifically, his dad was an amazing Imagineer, and then he went on to be essentially extricated from that project after its completion. But
yeah, I can't remember his name, but I remember reading about it.
And then you had, of course, the giant waste of money in the Star Cruiser that was also partially driven by Kathleen Kennedy, which is another $500 million that they spent in the development process and the construction of that Star Cruiser element, that hotel that now can't even fill up and is running with 1.5 cruises per week. Then you look at the diminishing terms of, or the diminishing returns of all of the films that she was in charge of, not to mention the amount of capital wasted on the Blood and Bone thing or whatever that was, Children of the, And then you have, what she's done with Indy, which is we're going to reap what she has sown. Let me put it that way. And so will Disney here in the next few months when we get to see what a disappointment that Dial of Destiny is. So yeah, I would say her management of Lucasfilm has been what do you call it? A cascading failure. That's what that as she's gotten progressively worse with pretty much everything she's touched. So those are my thoughts, and whether or not we end up with somebody better, I don't know. I don't think they could back up a Brinks truck large enough in front of Jon Favreau to have him come and fix it all. But maybe, because I guarantee you, Filoni will do nothing but follow down a very destructive path. I have to tell you, I agree with Raging and I hate Ahsoka. I am done with Ahsoka. Stop giving me anything having to do with Ahsoka. Ahsoka's dead. Thank you.
Yeah.
So there you are.
Yeah, Filoni definitely should not run the place. No. And I would like for Favreau to stay in a creative role and not be a studio head. Personally, they just what I think that they need in place of Kathleen Kennedy is somebody who's not disconnected from the audience. Because these people are completely disconnected. They keep pushing out this content and keep going down these paths that so many fans are not on board with. And it's like, how many times you can just bang your head against the wall? It's ridiculous. But yeah, they got to get somebody in there that can, like, I mean, I'm seeing Todd Stashwick, who plays Captain Shaw in Picard season 3, Terry Metalis, some of the writers are literally going on people's YouTube channels, having conversations with them. Nobody from Lucasfilm does this. Nobody from Lucasfilm has this connection with the fan base to get actual feedback and be like, hey, look, this is where you're screwing up. This is where you need to fix it. This is what needs to happen. You know, it seems like they're like, we don't really care what the fans say. The Star Wars name sells itself. We're just going to do what we want, you know, and they're going to just continue to drive it right into the ground.
Well, Nate changed his emoji.
I didn't.
Okay, I'll take her off. But no, I am. I'm sorry. I can make a million of Brie. She's really easy to animate. But you're right, Nick. I'm wishing we had somebody like Terry. I can't believe I'm saying this about Star Trek. That would come out and talk to the Star Wars fans the way that he has with the Trek fans. And I told Nate in a private message that I caught up on Terry Trek. I was never going to watch Star Trek again.
Same.
And I was asked to catch up, and in certain ways I am glad, but the stuff that he is stuck with there, let's get words out properly, is of course, you know, Raffi and things like that. But seeing Worf be Worf in a more violent way than you've seen him in a long time was freaking awesome.
Yeah. I've been pleasantly surprised with season 3, and I wasn't going to watch it at all, but I definitely got some issues with it, but overall it's not anything that's just extremely offensive where I'm like, man, screw this show.
All right, so let's shuffle on now to suggest. So the Oscars sort of came and went, and you know, we spoke a little bit about them, but one of the things was, of course, you can't really get away from it. What happened last year, which was Will Smith and the slap that was heard around the world. Now, part of that was obviously ripped on this year with Jimmy Kimmel. However, one of the producers of the Oscars has now come out and said, "Yeah, we toned it all down. Actually, we didn't go as hard as we could have done with Will Smith with the jokes." And this is them just admitting that they were just protecting Will Smith, just closing ranks. There's no excuse for it, and excuses they give are nonsense. And they are nonsense. I don't see why you would do this. Like you hang a lantern on the situation as opposed to hiding it and running away from it. And one of the producers was, well, Jimmy Kimmel's wife. So that sort of speaks volumes anyway. Kimmel and his writers decided not to go harder with slap jokes because they felt it was Chris Rock's story to tell. No, it wasn't. You're there at the Oscars presenting it, doing the same job that Chris Rock did. It's your story to tell and make a joke about, actually. Idiot. We didn't want to make this year all about last year, McNerney said. I cannot tell you how many Will Smith jokes we had that then we got rid of. We think that only the best for that room made it. There were certainly some that went harder, but we didn't think that was our place to do that. That should be Chris Rock, not us. No. But we really liked the idea of making fun of the reaction to it last year. I think we're all still in a bit of shock of how that went down and how after watching that violence, everyone had to then sit through an acceptance speech. Well, thoughts? Because to me, that's just them admitting that they closed ranks and was like, no, not happy with this. No, we're going to... it's a form of protection at the end of the day. Like, you know, they could have gone harder. They chose not to. They should have gone harder. They chose not to. But saying that it's down to Chris Rock to do it, I mean, that's it. No, everyone can make jokes about anything at any point in time, especially when you're doing the exact same job that Chris Rock did when that incident occurred. And it just goes to show, I think personally, of how much the Oscars are a gigantic circle jerk. And even in disgrace, I mean, we know this from the likes of Roman Polanski in situations like that, but even in disgrace, they close ranks and turn and go, oh no, we can't go too much, actually. Hence why they allowed him to do a bloody acceptance speech and take an Oscar. Paulie, I can see you with some thoughts there, Melado.
Yeah, no, just it's interesting because it did get a ratings bump from last year, but it's still pretty horrible, right?
When 1998, 1999, they had 53 odd million people watching. They don't even have 20. So
correct.
Yeah, I think this was the third lowest of all time, not the lowest.
Yeah.
So they didn't break a record this year, but it's still low.
So the point I was trying to make was because no one cares about at the end of the day about the majority of these films that have been nominated that win. No one watches them on repeat. They're not the big films back in the day that were Best Picture were like 5 deep of like great films that everyone would see. Did you guys see all the Best Picture nominations this year?
Nope.
I think I saw most actually.
Yeah, I mean, you go and see a lot of films for the channel as well. So do I.
What can I say?
So yeah, I mean, them, circling the wagons, them, that's not a big surprise.
Well, I'm going to say this because I want to get to the ratings. Let's go back to the last time I believe that Jimmy Kimmel hosted, which was 2017. There were over 32 million people watching, a little over 32 million, and in these, honestly, I'm questioning the 18 million because that's a significant bump from the fast overnights. You get a little bit of a bump, but I'm questioning those numbers. But regardless, it's still a little more than half of what they had in 2017 with these latest ones. So they still are trending the wrong direction. But Paulie's right. I mean, it bounced back from the last couple of years that were just atrocious. I mean, the only reason they got a bump late last year was because of the slap. And because otherwise it was not. If you look at the 30-minute breakdowns, it's and the hour-to-hour breakdowns overall, you could tell when people started to engage with it. It's and again, they still handed that guy the award at the end of that, so they're going to suffer some battle scars. But you're 100% right. They could have gone much harder in the paint and probably should have.
Absolutely, you hang a lantern on that situation. You really go for it.
Yeah,
that's the only way to breeze past it properly. Otherwise, this is a form of the Streisand effect,
it is. And it look, I don't think they're ever going to get away from the slap, to be fair. I think that put a permanent taint. I got to say taint on your channel. Put a permanent taint on this.
You said penetration earlier.
I did. Yeah, I've been using very fancy words. But you can't penetrate the taint. Anyway, beyond all of that, I don't think they can penetrate the taint on this particular issue. I think the slap is going to be with them forever.
Yeah. Again, more so because they didn't go for it. They should have just absolutely went for it. People would have had their, fun time with it and then just going out.
Well, and they also promised to stay away from politics, but they couldn't help themselves. There's plenty of politics in there. So,
well, the funny thing is because they're like, well, we don't want to spend this year talking about last year. It's like, but that's what everyone does in their acceptance speech. They're always talking about the year that's just transpired and the big thing that people need to latch onto as part of the agenda and the nonsense and the wokery shite that they're all trying to peddle at this specific time. Give over. Like, it's just nonsense.
And let's be honest, Jimmy Kimmel's the worst, man. That dude, good Lord.
He's a nobody out of America, mate. Like,
yeah,
no one in the UK cares about him.
If Ricky Gervais would have done it, he probably would have said all the same stuff regardless of what they said. And he probably would have nailed it. You know what? I was backstage. They pulled all these jokes. You know what? Fuck them. I'm going to say it anyways. And went on and did
I'm only going to be banned. I won't be back.
Yeah. Like, Ricky Gervais is the man. That's all I'm going to say.
Hard to top what he did, right?
Yeah.
And I did not see the show, the award show.
What?
I know, neither did I. I couldn't be
Nope.
bothered. I was in
I
bed.
never watch
Fuck that,
it.
Grant. I was doing a live stream before bed. In bed with H.
I know. I know. It's really disturbing, dude. I know you're not like on camera.
Why
but
is it
it's
disturbing? It's
I
not
don't know.
disturbing.
I'm like,
On Sundays, everyone. On Sundays, I do a low-key chill stream in bed with H. I'm literally in my bed. Got my dog next to me. Got my laptop there, and I'm just chit-chatting to you all. And
Yeah, I
apparently
mean,
that's disturbing. Why
I
is
think
it
what's
disturbing?
disturbing is Culture Casino's mind.
that's also true.
Yeah, culture. Where's your mind going at that specific
I
point,
think
buddy?
you know. I think you know.
I do. I think you shouldn't be going there.
Okay, I won't.
But yeah, what I've seen are all the post reactions and clips and stuff, which I can sift through and read for myself, but I couldn't sit. I was on Film Threat stream for like the last part of it. I was able to jump on, and it was just
like 4 hours long.
I think so. I think it was. But I never saw it.
Who has time for that?
But what's funnier now is what's more entertaining is watching people react to it.
You know what the most entertaining thing that came out of the Oscars for me, and it's the most wholesome, entertaining thing.
That chick with the big huge white dress.
No, looking at all the selfies that Ki Kwan puts on.
Oh, that's
when
true.
He's running up to people. He's like, "Yeah, living my best life, taking selfies."
Really?
He's like, "Yeah, man."
Oh, that's
Ki Hugh Kwan,
That's
just
pretty
living his best life, taking selfies with people, massive smile. He just looks like a normie. He's running around like, "Yeah, living my best life, with this famous person."
I snuck backstage.
It's so cool. He's so wholesome. He's such a nice guy.
But that's what I'm saying is that the reactions I saw were his Goonie castmates videotaping themselves when Key won. So it was Corey Feldman, it was the other guy, Sean Astin, and they were all just so genuinely happy for Key. I mean, because these guys have been through hell and back, and they've kept in touch.
Yeah.
To me, that's way, way, way better. Goonies for life, man.
Yeah, they're actually all on a Christmas chainmail together, and every Christmas they all chat in the same group email with each other, and they've been doing that since the Goonies, since they filmed the Goonies back in the 80s.
Well, that's cool.
That is my lady's favorite movie of all time.
It's awesome, classic.
Non-horror favorite movie. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Say that word again.
Non-horror.
Thank you.
Horror. Did I say horror?
Yes.
Non-horror movies. Oops. You don't like those horror movies.
Those movies are a bunch of horrors.
But yeah, that was the best thing to come out of the Oscars this year. Was Key running around doing all of his selfies. I love that.
Yeah, and I did finally see The Whale, and I was happy for Brendan.
Yeah, dude deserved a win for sure.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful performance.
That's a good comeback story, right? We get those occasionally. I think that was a good one.
Deservedly.
Yeah, because he got blacklisted for some because of some freaking
bad stuff.
Yeah,
stuff we cannot say too much of.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Everything Ever All at Once, that absolutely deserved I think it deserved the wins that it got. Very, very funny watching Angela Bassett's face drop like a sack of shit when Jamie Lee Curtis got the supporting actress. That was hilarious.
It was telling.
It's so funny. And you know what's funny about it all as well? Is Twitter's reaction. Because they're like, but I thought the Oscars were diverse. It's like, hold on a minute. It's like, because they're like, oh, so many Asians. Like, does Asians not count as diversity now?
Yeah.
And like when I saw that, I was like, fuck it. This is Americans' perspective of race and diversity through and through. And it is. It's absolutely. And unfortunately adopted by the UK now as well, is that race is seen through two lenses, white and black.
Other countries probably look at us like a complete joke. Like
they do. They absolutely do.
You got Russia and China freaking knocking stuff out, developing, building, doing all this stuff, and we're over here worried about this kind of nonsense. It's
Yeah.
like, God, this is how freaking superpowers get conquered from the inside out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's willful. I mean, we know that. I'm just wow.
Yeah.
I hate everything about the way that, and you know what? Next year, the rules that are being adopted for the Oscars for next year, as far as inclusion and garbage tasticness, some of them are illegal. Some of the guidelines are actually legitimately illegal. They are soliciting people that are going to fill out these forms to ask questions you can't ask people. Are you gay? You can't do that in business. You can't do that. You can't do that.
That's why they're falling into irrelevancy.
Yeah, bro, and
Why?
I mean, these are to be considered for Oscars, right?
Yeah.
Most of the films made, they don't give a shit, and that stuff is not going to last. It's not going to last, man.
Well, the Oscars itself is not going to last.
I mean, if they don't watch it, you're right.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Based on the viewership, it's not going to last.
They're fighting to
used
get
to be a powerhouse. It's not now.
I mean, how many was it? 8.1 million. Last of Us season finale of that same night
in competition with it. Yeah,
in competition, they competed.
Yeah,
that was incredible. Good for them.
Almost half the audience just for a finale of a show
or a television program that isn't all that good. So yeah.
What?
Oh dear. Moving on quickly. So we got some super chats here. Gary dropped in with £5. Says after Ricky roasts Hollywood, they should get him back to roast Will Smith. Yeah, I agree.
Ooh.
I don't think he'd do it though.
They couldn't handle it right now.
Yeah, no way.
No, he would destroy them. He would.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, the Golden Globe
doing anything?
is legendary.
He's still doing stuff. He just didn't. He just did a project.
Is he doing anything like
he's always doing stuff? I mean, he was working on Afterlife for a very long time.
Until he
then went on tour. He started going on tour again. But he's got projects lined up anyway. So Afterlife, he was happy to end it as it was on that note.
Yeah, it was
and then
perfect.
He went to tour. And yeah,
perfect,
so he's
perfect mic drop.
Yeah, but he's not gonna be invited to those things because unfortunately, he's a true comedian. He says the uncomfortable things which are often hilarious. That's the thing about him. A true comedian does that. Hangs a lantern on everything. No holds barred, whereas everyone else is, weak sauce with it all, unfortunately. Hey, you drops in with $5. Says, I long for the day when the Oscars mean so little that no one talks about them at all. They're meaningless.
It's getting there.
I agree.
It's really gotten there.
I mean, we talk about them because, of course, this is movies, right?
Right.
Like, I myself am a movie review and news channel. It is news. It's movie news, so we're going to talk about them. But yeah, you are right. I only briefly cover them, and the only reason I covered them this year was because Everything Everywhere All at Once cleaned up the board, and I was like, I really like that film, deserved it, cool, excellent. That was literally the only reason I did it. I wouldn't have covered them otherwise, and if there wasn't the Will Smith controversy surrounding Jimmy Kimmel also toning down jokes, we wouldn't be talking about them on this stream. I would not have raised it as a topic. We wouldn't be discussing it. So it does go to show how irrelevant they actually are and how meaningless they are already, even for someone that does this, for what they do. So it goes to show, like, no one cares. You guys don't care, Like, I only brought these. The Will Smith one's funny because it's Hollywood in general, but Everything Everywhere All at Once, that's a movie I personally liked, so I wanted to talk about it. That was like a one for me, not one for you sort of situation. But I mean, guys, anything to add to that?
Congratulations for pulling down 7 Oscars. I think the only one close was All Quiet on the Western Front. I mean, it speaks for itself. I still believe that a rule that should have been applied to Michelle Yeoh would have disqualified her for any wins. But
no, man, come on.
Did she break the rule?
They break the rules every day, and that's
but did she break the rule?
They've been doing that. They've been talking shit like that about other actors for decades. So that's nothing new. So don't give me that.
You're not
nothing new.
It's breaking the rule, Paulie.
Bro. People have been, other actors have talked sass about other actors.
All I'm going to
for
say is
years.
this: you're not supposed to do it. And if anybody else ever says anything and gets disqualified, she should not have won that award. If that ever happens to anybody else, and if you don't,
Yeah, I'll agree. Double standard.
don't
Yeah, I'll agree
obey
with
the
that.
rules, if you don't obey the
Hollywood's
rules,
a double
I have.
standard. Give me a fucking break, guys. And what a way to cut the feet off of her accomplishments. I
I'm
mean,
not
what the
cutting
fuck,
your feet
dude?
off with anything. I think it's
I
great.
mean, this is. I mean, listen, Hollywood is lucky to have this film this year because it's not a Hollywood film, and you know it came out of nowhere. They did it for peanuts. You know, this woman has you know, clawed and itch every step of the way for decades, and that's what you got to say. This is Michelle fucking Yao, man. She's been rocking it for decades.
Calm
you know?
down. That is that's
Paulie,
not what I said.
what culture is saying is
I know what he's saying. I'm not a dumb guy.
Then why
I'm
you
a
get so
pretty smart
emotional
guy,
about it? Then why
right?
you getting so emotional about it?
Because Hollywood's
why?
a double standard to begin with. That's all,
Okay,
you know?
but that's
So
what he's saying is
they
if
break
they
their
then
own rules.
show and represent that double standard.
No,
What do
culture.
you mean, no, it's a perfectly reasonable, logical statement to make. Doesn't detract away from anything.
I think it was a low
they
blow.
reveal the double standard.
That was a
It
low
was a
blow.
low blow to ask them to either enforce their rules or don't have them. Okay.
When have they ever done that? That's all I'm saying, bro. If
Well,
that's
no,
the
but
case,
he-
Harvey
but he's not-
Weinstein wouldn't have won all those fucking awards for decades.
He's not provided an example of them doing that. He's saying if they did. That's what he's saying.
Yeah.
It's a hypothetical of if they then generate this as a double standard in future, then it pulls into question why she got the Oscar.
And all I'm saying
if
is
they're enforcing it in future, which is a perfectly logical, reasonable statement to make.
Yeah, and it wouldn't just be her that would also be called into question because, as you said, this has been done before. I guess I don't recall it, but I'll take your word for it. And if that's the case, then all of those people should have been disqualified from the award. It's like, why would you have this rule if you don't intend to enforce it? Because I mean, I think probably somewhere in the rules is you can't walk up on stage and slap the shit out of somebody. I think that
anyone can say what they want, and clearly culture does. I just disagree.
That's fine.
It's kind of like a homeboy asking The Rock about Henry Cavill. It's, you know, to me, it's like that was uncalled for. The question wasn't about the practices of the rules of Hollywood. You know, Mr. H was eloquently talked about this film and why he loved it, and then you set it up. You put
you made an
you have the
assumption.
tea.
You made it
on your bat, and you
no.
You
thought I didn't think that she deserved the award, which I immediately said afterwards that no, she absolutely deserved this award. And this is not the first time I've said this in public. I'm just saying under the rules. And why would you have rules if you're not going to enforce them? Is my whole point. And now they're going to introduce these inclusion rules, right? Do you think those are going to be enforced or not enforced? Of course, they're going to be enforced. So if you're going to have rules, enforce them. If you're not going to have rules, don't enforce them. You know, I hate the hypocrisy. It really bothers me. But that's
Hollywood is hypocrisy. What are we talking about here? What are we talking about?
We're not condoning hypocrisy, are we? I think that's the main element there is to not condone hypocrisy. So
I said queers earlier on stream.
You did.
Anyway, Justin B drops in with $2 Canadian and 20 Canadian cents and says, "In bed with H is one step closer to an OnlyFans. I can assure you."
Nice.
You're fine. Don't you worry about it. Also, Al said, "Mr. H, dude, what time on Sundays are you doing the live streams? I'm not getting notified." Yeah, loads of people aren't getting notified. There's not actually a set time because I don't have a set bedtime. But it's, I think it was roughly around 10 or 10:30, something like that. I think. Can 10, 10:30 at night, something along those lines.
Can I make a suggestion for you and the audience? First of all, if you're an audience member and you're subscribed to Mr. H and you want to catch him in bed, turn your notifications on.
The camera's not on. All right.
Well, okay. Right. I'm sorry. I have to keep clarifying that.
Yeah,
cameras aren't on. No, but if you want to catch Mr. H in bed on Sunday,
30 minutes,
turn your notifications, all of them on, because what'll happen is if Mr. H is going to go live at a unique time, he can actually use the community tab on his channel to notify you of the stream and put a link to the stream in the community tab notifications. And if you have all your notifications on, you have a 100% better chance of being notified when he does that, because that way it's relying on a notification in a different part of YouTube, which seems to work better than the actual notification you're supposed to get automatically for when he
You're
goes
saying the
live.
community tab works better,
Yep,
doesn't
in the
it?
community tab. Yeah, and it's on
okay.
Mr. H's channel, and you don't even have to be on the community tab as a subscriber to Mr. H. You just have to have all of your notifications turned on, and then Mr. H can do that, and you'll get a better chance of actually catching him in bed, which I know you all want to do.
Hey, it's a good stream. Everyone likes it. Anyway, but no, good advice there, Culture. I like that. Gary drops in, says, look up Carl Pilkington in Resident Evil. The YouTube channel takes parts of Idiot Abroad and puts them in different video games. It's funny AF. I have never even heard of that. That sounds like, I mean, it does sound like it'd be funny. Jesus. I love those things where they chop up people and just like edit them in. There's that one of a cat that's put into like the Matrix and things. It's just funny. Those kind of things are very, very funny.
The phrasing there was a little weird for an American ear. You enjoy the part where they chop up people and put them in things.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's got to be done. Come on. No. I like it. I like it when sort of live action stuff.
I understand what you're saying.
Mashups of stuff. It's always good fun.
Indeed.
I like those kind of things. Yeah. So, guys, that will wrap up this stream. I think that's a good place to sort of stop. There's not too much else really to discuss unless we've got any.
We're ending early.
Got anything else? Well, it's 11 o'clock. That's 2 hours.
All right.
That early?
Well, the time change is weird.
Well, no, usually we go like 2.5 hours. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's all good.
Yeah, well, it's just a natural. I said if you got anything else to discuss, I don't.
Polly and I have only had one proper fight at this point, so we could,
one too many for me.
There's a couple things, but then we can go to after party.
Oh, there you go. After.
My back's hurting. What? Get to it.
Oh wow.
No, if your back's hurting, man, I'll just head on over to the.
Yeah.
No, honestly, what topic? Because it might be one I didn't hear about. So.
Oh no, it's just continuing this conversation. We don't need to continue the conversation.
Oh God, what comes? Oh, God,
he wants to fight over this still.
No. It's just it's just on how Hollywood operates, and some people in the chat were saying like, don't. Yeah, what's this one comment? This one comment's interesting. It's not okay to be a hypocrite, even worse to be a public hypocrite. Listen, hypocrisy is Hollywood is not exclusive on hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is everywhere. It's just that Hollywood is really good at it. I'm not saying it's good. I never said I condone it. I'm just saying that's how the cards are dealt. There's a lot of nepotism. There's a lot of power play. There's a lot of hypocrisy. It's always been that. That's it.
Go on, Culture. Slap him back.
That's fine.
No, I didn't say anything to Culture.
I know, it was a joke. Just come on now.
Yeah, come on. Let's go.
What? Look, I'm not a fan of hypocrisy, but I will always call it out, even when I do it myself, and I do it plenty. So, holding things accountable is important.
And I guess there were some jokes that the Oscars left out about Tom Cruise and Rihanna.
Oh, really? Additional joke?
Yeah, I didn't think that was that.
Okay.
I didn't think that was that interesting to sort of cover.
That's it, man.
I saw they said that Tom Cruise didn't go to the Oscars to avoid running into his ex-wife Nicole Kidman there.
That's really
what?
Yeah, that was the article link that I posted.
I'd want to
Daily Mail in the UK.
Oh wow!
Don't know if you can trust that one. Really.
Yeah,
hey, I don't know. That's like the paper of record in here. I'm kidding.
As a source told the Daily Mail, Tom was not there because she was there, and he did not want to run in. Is that it?
You gotta take it with a grain of salt, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, Daily Mail is a bit not the best.
Wait, there's a wonderful word that you use, dodgy. That'd be accurate.
Oh, I say dog shit.
No,
Yeah,
well,
dodgy. Dodgy's another one.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. I'm just saying that
Shit rag.
Yeah.
That's another one.
I like garage.
Garage.
What?
Well, when I do it, it sounds
Garage.
German. Can't say it.
Yeah.
Garage.
Like over here, we just call it a garage.
Yeah.
But I watch Love It or List It on HGTV a lot, and that chick on there that was in Rocky Horror Picture Show, who's on there. I love her accent. I need to find a good UK girl to marry.
Hmm.
Nick,
There you go, everyone. Nick. Any ladies in the UK? Nick, he's ready.
Ladies.
He's ready for you.
I'll get that that
No, Nick's never on camera on these streams.
that
Yeah, he's-
visa.
Yeah, you're never
My
on
eye.
camera, man.
Yeah,
not
well,
on
that's
camera.
because I'm sitting here working.
It's not much of a
Because he's
passport.
working.
Not much of a
He,
passport.
he doesn't want to show any of those hot UK girls that he works hard.
Yeah,
Garage.
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 So, yeah, and then what was it? What was it? Angela Bassett and her response. I mean, you talk about a moment where you should psych yourself out. Like, you're either going to win or lose, so you better keep a good face.
Yeah, of course. But the camera is on you, for fuck's sake.
And
you're nominated.
The camera's on you, man. And
like everyone knows, they should just be like, oh yeah, well, yeah. Not.
And Wakanda Forever did win an Academy Award.
What did it win?
Really?
What?
Yeah. What did it win?
Best costumes.
Ah!
Best fucking costumes, man.
You're joking me.
No, dude.
Those costumes were shockingly bad.
It was shit.
Yep. Wow.
Yep. Wow. Exactly. Wow that it was even nominated.
Wow.
Big wow.
That's how. Wow. No, I will never be surprised at an Oscar now. Ever since Suicide Squad won for makeup or something like that.
Did it really?
You know this? Suicide Squad, the first one, was an Oscar winner.
Interesting.
What now?
That's not it. Yeah.
For
Do you
costume?
not know this? Yes. Makeup or something like that. Yeah. Fuck them.
And
how did you not know this? Guys, come on.
I don't think I've watched the Oscars since like '89.
I may not have processed it. See, it must have been there must have been something.
And the woman that won the Black Panther Wakanda, she won. This is her second award. Her first one was the first Black Panther movie.
You're joking me.
I'm not.
Damn.
I'm not.
Wow.
I'm not.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And the
Wow.
woman King director is still complaining that she didn't get nominated.
Oh, think of fuck off.
The film was dog poo poo.
Now that we can agree on.
It was also a historical lie based on a historical story. Bullshit.com.
Yeah.
And we can add in Hollywood hypocrisy, right? And a little bit of irony. This movie was executive produced and written by 2 white women.
With no background in the material that they were presenting, probably.
Well, they went on a trip to Africa and were touched.
I bet they were. Maybe by each other. You don't know.
Oh.
Hey.
Oh.
Holly, you thanks.
But Mr. H, we have a really good after party right now. Nice.
I was getting yelled at for putting up my Brie Larson. Look, this, and she's even blinking.
You should be putting up a better one.
That's kind of
Like
cute, though.
No.
This is a see-through dress. What do you mean a better one?
Well, I can't. It's too far away. I can't see anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you zoom in?
Enhance. Enhance. I like Nate's channel, so no.
I got the best picture ever.
Say again. It's a good picture.
It's a good dress.
She looks
Right.
like
Anyway,
she looks like she's a deer in the headlights in that picture, though. It's like,
It's the only one I could find. Like I did it quickly.
With the
there's
rack.
loads of great pictures.
She's got some. Accidental leak pictures out there too in this rage.
Does she really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow. The guys in the audience went, what?
Interesting.
Google search.
Yeah, that's it. Guess a Spike and Brie Larson searches up.
Brie is banging.
Oh dear, oh dear, dear God. Oh dear, oh dear.
You can just
so there's a redirect to the post H stream, the after party on the Latino slant. This stream will redirect over there.
Sweet.
Ladies and gents, so please do continue on over there as well. Hope you enjoyed the stream, though, guys. We got anything interesting coming up? Nick, I'm sure you've got a chill stream you want to plug.
Actually, we're not doing a chill stream.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
no.
I'm actually going to be on the World Class Bullshitters channel on the High Council tonight. So I'll be over there, and then I'll be going to bed, and Coach and I'll be getting up at 5 o'clock tomorrow morning to watch the next episode of The Mandalorian. Then we'll get our review out and our edited reaction out on the channel tomorrow.
Nice.
First thing in the
morning. Earlier today, I put up a video on John Leguizamo complaining about the Oscars.
When is he not complaining?
He's complaining to your peers, John. It's your peers. It's
no. What it is that it's subtext. Give me an Oscar.
Yeah,
that's really it. Because he's blind to the
he's
fact.
A meme now. He has become a meme.
So that's up. And then I have actress Romy Diaz joining us for the after party. We're gonna have some fun stuff lined up for her, and
that's great.
Everyone's gonna love her.
I love Romy. She's great. Hopefully, Nate can stop on by.
Yeah, I'll try. When is it? When?
Right now. The after party.
Well, I don't know if you would like. Oh, it's a bit early. Is it literally?
We're ready to go.
Oh, right. Yeah, I'll stay for a little bit then. Culture, what you got coming up?
6-minute daily tomorrow morning. I do those on weekdays. I've got a video coming out, hopefully, if my editor got to it today. A couple more set for this week if I can get them recorded. And let's see, if you want to laugh for a little while, check out the end of the stream that I was on prior to this one, the Tuesday tirade, because Tom was singing karaoke as Arnold Schwarzenegger at the end. It was very
cool. Wow.
Yeah, we should have pulled that clip up.
That was bonkers.
Interesting. We got one last super chat dropped in from Greg. Says, FYI, Superman and Lois premiere tonight. Good show. It was a good show. I actually fell off the bandwagon, in fairness. So, yeah, I completely. Superman and Lois was a decent show. I really liked it, but I completely fell off the bandwagon. I won't be reviewing it because I'm way behind. But yeah,
I never watched it. I heard it was, fairly decent though.
Actually, a decent show. Yeah. Actually, a decent show. Yeah. Amazingly.
I'm with
you. Anyway, guys, that wraps it up from me and everyone else. Thank you so much for joining. Join the Thursday stream 2 hours earlier, whatever that is for your time. I don't bloody know. But cheers, everyone. Take care. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Bye now.